It is Tuesday, January 25th in the NBA, and I'm back with my 4 best picks of the day. Yo, what's going on, everyone? This is Austin from Calling Our Shot. Today, we're going to do a recap from yesterday like we always do, and we got a special guest on today's program. It's Captain Hook, because he was out again for the second straight night, so we lose Evan Mobley over 15.5 points by 1 exact point. He ends with 15 points. I said 2 things in yesterday's video. Number 1, he loves finishing on 15, so if you took 15 plus, congrats. I said he's done that in 4 of the last 7 games. Number 2, I said his only critique to his game, not the best free throw shooter, and naturally that comes to just make me look like a genius, but also make me look like a fool as he misses 3 free throws in the last minute. Either way, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, our best bet of the day, that cashes over in points pretty easily, and the best bet segment moves to 31-11 over the last 42 picks. So we were 9-3 over the past 5 days, so hopefully we can get back after. If you are new to the Calling Our Shot channel, consider clicking that subscribe button down below. Welcome aboard. We appreciate you guys for tuning into the video, trying to grind to 22,000 subscribers. Also, click that like button too. My last final 2 notes. Number 1, we have our podcast. We are recording it tonight. We'll post it tomorrow morning. Please drop below any questions you guys want about Logan or I to answer, or both of us. They can be about anything. If we choose your question, we'll shout you out in the podcast as well. So drop them down below in the comments wherever you want. Now, number 2, there's the BetMGM promo. If you use the first link in the description and you deposit a minimum of $10 and then you bet that on an NBA money line, once your team hits a 3-pointer, you'll get $200 of free bets. So it's definitely a great promo. I know a lot of you guys out there have used it. So if you want to use it, I don't normally promo them in the YouTube videos, but definitely click that first link in the description, find out a little bit more. I think it's dimers.com/something. You'll see it. It's the first link in the description. Go check it out. Let's waste no more time. Get into the best bet of the day. Like I said, on a 31-11 run. Very good run over the past month and a half. And who is it? Drum roll, please. We're going with Bradley Beal over 33.5 PRAs, -120 on DraftKings. Now, Beal hasn't been on the program a whole lot this season and really over the past couple months, but he's back today and he's back as the best bet. Now, Beal obviously plays for the Washington Wizards. Today, they're taking on the LA Clippers. Now, over the past few months, Beal has had a couple stints with the health and safety protocol, so never really gotten into that rhythm, but I feel like he's getting back into a groove of things. Now, he returned 4 games ago. Normally, you never want to touch the first game they're back because normally players go pretty under in that game, but over the past 3 games, he's had, these are his following PRA numbers. He's had 36, 38, and 31. Going over in 2 of 3. The one game he didn't go over was a blowout against the Celtics. They lost by like 30-something plus points. He didn't even play in the 4th quarter. This is a guy in Beal that normally is their closer. He's going to have the ball in his hands nonstop the last 12 minutes of the game, and he didn't play that game, or the 4th quarter, only playing 31 minutes. Normally he averages above 36 minutes. And per game in the NBA, sometimes you see him going above 40. That's how many minutes he plays for the Wizards. Now, Beal, obviously a guy the past 2 seasons, a guy that could hit this over in just points. I mean, this was a guy a couple seasons, like last season, we were seeing this guy's point line, just points, not PRAs, at like 31.5. That's how good this guy is, and he's capable of doing that today against the Clippers. Now, I see both these 2 teams. I don't see them necessarily a blowout coming. I mean, the spread is 5 points, and the over-under is 216, so both teams are capable of going on runs, but I don't think they're capable of, extending that the whole entire game. So I think this game should be close. Beal has hit this over in 4 of his last 5 games against the Clippers. If you check out the game log of players against the Clippers that shoot 18-plus field goal attempts, normally, it's a pretty good track record of them hitting this over. I expect Beal to be active early and often. Over these last 3 games, Beal is averaging the 6th most drives per game in the NBA. He's been up towards the top of that list all season long. If we think about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander yesterday, the reason we attacked his points prop, is because he was driving a ton, and you look at that Bulls team, not a lot of rim protection with Nikola Vucevic. Well, sorry, Ivica Zubac, you don't offer a lot of rim protection either. So Beal can get in there, and I think he can score often. Now, you look at the Wizards, they've lost 3 straight games. Expect Beal to come out motivated. The coaching staff's going to be like, dog, we need more from you, and I think he'll be doing just fine. And I will take Beal to carry on the best bet segment to 31-11 run. We're taking Beal over 33.5 PRAs. Don't mind any of his individual lines. If I had to pick one, I'd go assists first, then probably points, and then probably rebounds. And if it goes up, fine with it. 34.5. I think he gets over 36 easily today. Now, before we get into my lone spread pick of the day, going to another player prop that cashed 2 days ago. D'Angelo Russell over 26.5 points plus assists, -120 on Caesars. Now, if your line's 27.5 because FanDuel's the only book with that, sure, go for it. Perfectly acceptable. If you want to take his PRA line, perfectly acceptable. If you want to take his assist line, perfectly acceptable. I love all of them. Now, today, D'Lo and the Timberwolves are taking on the Blazers over under 227.5 points. Now, you look at D'Lo over his last 8 games, he's at this over in 6 of them. He's at 33, 36, 21, 19, 35, 28, 32, and 39. So really, He's cleared it pretty easily in 6 of those 8 games. The one game, I guess he finished with 28, but the other games, he's all above 32. So I think he'll get back into that realm. Now, last 2 games, the 2 games he went under, you're like, whoa, he had 21 and 19 points plus assists combined. They're against the Knicks and the Warriors, 2 elite defensive teams, and he shot only 11 and 9 times, playing less than 25 minutes in each of those games. That's not going to happen today, unless it's a complete blowout, which we can't really control those. Now, look at the Blazers. Now, they'll be obviously without Damian Lillard, but still got CJ McCollum, still got Anthony Simons, and I think even Norm Powell will be returning today. So this team's defense has been decent the past couple weeks, but with Norm Powell returning, yeah, no, that defense has gone out the window. So expect the Blazers to be able to at least score some points today, and that means that D'Lo, Ant-Man, and Cat will have to score some points with them as well. Now the spread is just 3 points, so sportsbooks are expecting this to be a close game. That's what I expect. Now D'Lo in his last 5 games versus the Blazers hit the over in 4 of them with 23, 29, 36, 33, and 46 points plus assists combined. The one miss was earlier this season, a game in which he shot just 12 times, which, some games he shoots only 12, 13 times, but still I'd expect him to shoot a little bit more today in the fast-paced game. The over-under, like I said, 226 points. That was also a game against the Blazers when they shot a ton of free throws. You saw Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards both with 10-plus free throw attempts. Or I believe Ant-Man had 9 and Cat had like 12. So I don't expect them to shoot a ton of free throws today. Normally those free throws kind of mess up the flow of the game. I think D'Lo will be active today. Also expect him to continue and run and be aggressive with that second unit. He's normally leading the second unit, which means he's a little bit more aggressive, shooting some more threes. He's been knocking them down. We'll take D'Angelo Russell over 26.5 points plus assists. His PRA line is cool with me, but I just think there's a bigger edge on points plus assists, which is why we're riding with it. Now, moving on to my lone spread pick of the day. Raptors, -3, -110 on DraftKings. Now, spread picks, you guys know, aren't my specialty, so tail responsibly, but I like the Raptors in this one, and here's why. Now, for starters, the Raptors finally got their full starting lineup back. That meaning they got Gary Trent Jr. So they're starting Fred VanVleet, Gary Trent Jr., OG Anunoby, Scotty Barnes, and Pascal Siakam. That's the 5 players they want to start. Now, they are still without Khem Birch, which, to be honest, addition by subtraction, if you ask me. And they're taking on the Hornets today. Now, the Hornets are on the road, so they're in Toronto. Hornets 13-7 at home this season, but 13-14 straight up on the road. Now, obviously, we're not taking the Raptors' money line, but we are taking their spread. -3 points, -3.5 is fine. But I think the Raptors win this game outright. And normally, you'd get close to covering this 3 points if you're going to win the game outright. Now, the Hornets are not going to beat you with their 25th rated defense. That's not how they're going to beat you. They're going to beat you with their offense. And I think this Raptors team has enough length and defensive-minded players on their defense. If you think OG Anunoby, Gary Trent Jr., Fred VanVleet, Pascal Siakam, Scotty Barnes, all very capable defenders, whereas on the Hornets side of the ball, not that great of a defensive team. Now, the Raptors are 13-5-1 against the spread in their last 19 games and 9-2 against the spread in their last 11 games at home. Toronto hasn't been great in the month of January. I won't lie to you. They're like 2-5 straight up, but I do believe they get back after it today. They are 12-8-1 against the spread after a loss this season. Just lost their last game against the Portland Trailblazers, where their starting lineup, they stunk, and I think they'll do a better game. You look at it, Pascal Siakam's at 13 for 20 from the field, 65%. The rest of the starters, the other 4 guys I named for you, they only made 4 more shots than Siakam, but attempted 43 more. They shot 17 for 63, 26.9% from the field. They can't possibly shoot that bad again today, and their law of averages mean they're going to shoot a little bit better. So I think they will, and I think the Raptors will get it done at home tonight. So Raptors -3, take it up to 4, 4.5 if you want to. Now, let's dive into my final player prop, and I'll likely add one more throughout the day. So definitely check the pinned comment section down below, and be sure to follow us on Twitter, because that's where I normally post them. Post them in the Discord as well, which is linked down below. Now, final player prop. Drum roll, please. Nikola Jokic, we're taking this over 45.5 PRAs, -120 on Caesars. It's the Joker, and I wish I had my Joker shirt. Still waiting to get it, but we'll get that shirt in time, and we'll be wearing it next time we're taking this prop. Now, we look at the Denver Nuggets. They're taking on the Pistons, a team that just played a couple days ago. In that game, Jokic, 34 points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists, good for 51 PRAs, and a cash of this play. Now, he didn't even get a double-double, which is odd, as he has a double-double in 34 of 40 games played, and I think he gets back in that double-double column today. Now, Jokic, I believe, is the leader of the MVP race right now, yet still gets continually disrespected. This is a guy averaging 26.1 points per game, 13.8 rebounds per game, and 7.6 assists per game for 47.5 PRAs per game. If you don't have PRAs, likely lean towards his over in points. Now, the Pistons are at home this time, they were on the road last time in Denver. I think it helps us that they're at home, because the Pistons are a team that notoriously has a bunch of young guys, and they play notoriously much better at home, which is good for us. We want this game to stay close. Now, Jokic has hit this over in 4 straight games. Today's matchup is another solid one against Isaiah Stewart of the Pistons, who Jokic obviously just abused him for 34 points in the last game. But still, you look at Stewart, doesn't do a whole lot on the offensive side of the ball, so Jokic will just be camped out in the paint, and I think he grabs a little bit more rebounds. Now, you look at Jokic against the Pistons in his last 3 matchups, 51, 46, and 46, cashing the over in 3 straight games. And 2 of those games where he just finished on the hook, well, he only played 26 and 27 minutes. This is a guy that averages 33 minutes per game. If the game's closer, he averages even more minutes. So expecting to see a little bit more if the Pistons can keep this game close, which the spread's only 7.5 points. I think the Pistons can keep it somewhat reasonable. I mean, it's a lot to ask. It is the Detroit Pistons we're talking about. But still, Jokic last game, he did have 17 rebound opportunities, but he only hauled in 9 rebounds. Normally, that's only like a 56-ish% conversion rate. Normally, he's up near 65%, averaging 21.2 rebound chances per game. I think he gets back to that form. And Joker, we trust, so we're riding with Mr. Nikola Jokic over 45.5 PRAs. He will cash for us the future, the reigning, and maybe even future MVP. We'll take his props tonight. Now, that's all we're going to do it. Now, my 4 final notes, definitely check them out. We might have, there's about 4 other player props that I did consider. Still want to do a little bit more research on them, but wanted to get the video out live to you this morning. 4 notes. 1, check that pinned comment down below for any added plays. Number 2, follow our social media links, all listed down below, but definitely go check it out. We just passed 10,000 followers on Twitter, so I appreciate all the new people joining the community. Number 3, drop any questions you guys want for the podcast later. We would appreciate it, and we want to answer those questions, keep it as entertaining to you guys. And, we want you guys to have some input into what we talk about on the podcast. And number 4, that BetMGM promo I talked about. You bet $10 on the money line, and if they hit a 3-pointer, you're going to get $200 of free bets. All the description and what's not is in the details. All the details is in the description down below. So go check it out. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. And yeah, let's go make some money today. We don't want this. If I have to bring out Captain Hook again tomorrow, I might throw something. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. This has been Austin. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.